everybody, good morning. This is Jean here. Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. I am right now in my kitchen and I am going to try to pin baste my quilt that I have made a big song and dance about. Oh, where's my bottom? Oh, what the heck? Oh, it's in the other room. Hold up. Oh, wait a second. Oh my word, found it. It was upstairs. I had to go get it. Okay, so this is my never-ending quilt that you have seen me making and trying to figure out and messing up. I had to run and get the backing upstairs, and what I have been doing now is I'm going to try to figure out just how I'm going to baste this quilt together. Now, it would be no big deal to baste a quilt on a nice table. I'm very blessed to have this table here. When we bought our house a couple months ago, this table was included in the sale, and it's just so wonderful. It's it was a custom-made table for the homeowner before, and it has this beautiful finish. I always keep a tablecloth on it to protect the finish because it has like this lovely inlaid wood. It's really quite nice, but it's counter height. Oh my word, I couldn't have asked for a better basting table. Now if you don't have a table that's high enough, or you're having to baste on the floor, I don't understand that. I've never been basted a quilt on the floor. I can't do that. I've never. I've actually achieved basting this the way I'm going to be showing you on a small kitchen island. I have done a large quilt on a small kitchen island. So any kind of folding table or any table, this is my method, but I'm very blessed to have this counter height table. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. So here's my quilt top. I have cut out my batting for my quilt. Now, why it's a little bit difficult if you're new to this and watching me baste a quilt is because my backing here, if you have watched me, is going to have to be centered. It has a border on the back, and if you just sort of lay your backing down and then rather blindly go to pin baste it, the borders could be off. Now I know it's just the backing, but I'm going to try to achieve the fact that my borders on the back of my quilt are all on the same size. So when you when you see the quilt from the back, it is fairly symmetrical. It's a little bit tricky, but I thought, how am I going to do that? Now I've been given some hints to use like a Frixion pen to mark. I didn't quite know how to do that. So what I've opted to do on my table here is I have found the center of my table here. My table measures 70 inches long by 35 inches wide. What I have done fairly unconventionally, I found the exact center of my table. Right there, the exact center. It was 35 inches into the center, into the length, and 17.5 inches over to the center. And it's interesting, this is like a mirror image. I don't know if it's maple or what, but there's a seam of the wood when it was put together, the joinery, right down. So I measured across, I'm like, oh, 17.5. So it's right there. What I have done, and I've never done this before, but I thought I'll try it. I have actually taped down 2 quarters. Now in this country, a quarter is about a coin about that large. I put them on top of each other, and with a little bit of tape, I've taped the quarters down to the middle of the table. Okay, now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be finding the absolute middle of the back of my quilt. And all that has to be done is I've folded it absolutely in half one way and in half the other way. And at that point there, at this point here, which I'm going to sort of finger press, finger press, finger press. I think that that's the middle of the back of my quilt. Absolutely. So when I go to open up the back of my quilt, my backing, which I made that really, really nice and firm, that I can see that marking right there. Then what I'm going to do is just like the standard way to pin baste your quilt. Oh, now this quilt does have a, well, it has a top and a bottom, but the top doesn't have a top or bottom, so that's okay. So either way. So I'm going to open this up, and of course when you're basting a quilt, there's my, wait a second. There's my marking. Where was my marking? Oh yeah, there's my marking right there. Right there. So when you baste a quilt in any manner, you find the absolute center of your backing, hopefully, but this is a little bit more important. I'm finding that right there. I'm putting it right in the middle of my quarter. A little bit ungainly. I should have some help here. Maxwell and Ian are away, or they're at work. So I'm going to fiddle around with this, and I'm going to find, keeping my finger there, I'm going to put this fabric here, my backing, right on the center of that quarter. That doesn't look like the center. Why is there more stuff here? Oh, I better measure again. I got all messed up because I think I measured it properly. Yeah. Why is this? Oh, that doesn't look like it's right. The same amount of fabric should be hanging off the table the same way. So let me measure this again. Oh, that does look like the center. Yeah, that's the center. Why is it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would be down 3.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it should be right in the center of that, not there. What have I done wrong? Because I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across. Oh boy. So it should be there. Oh, there's my mark. Oh, there's my mark. Oh, I was going by like a crease mark. Oh, where's my quarter? There's my mark right there. Oh dear, I was right. Okay, there we go. Now, yes, there you go. Now you can see a little bit of this, little bit of border. So there's my mark. I was going by a crease mark. I should have ironed this. I should have ironed my backing a little bit better. There, but anyway, there is my mark because it's 1, 2, 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3 blocks. And there's the center of that block there. And now I can see a little bit of plaid up here, and I can see a little bit of plaid there. And these are nice and square on here. Now all I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the backing, the batting, I'm going to just lay this, I'm going to put the batting on, but before I do that, I'm just going to tape my backing down. So I've clamped just loosely my backing down, and I know that this is in the middle. There's my quarter right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be positioning my batting. I'm using, this is a Warm and Plush. It's called Warm and Plush from the Warm Company. It's a little bit thicker than Warm and Natural from the Quilt Company. I quite like it. I buy it by the bolt, by the 20-yard bolts I get it from. Now I do know there's a right and the wrong side. I usually put the softer side up. So let me do that now. And again, I'm going to find the middle of the piece of batting. I keep saying batting. I keep saying backing. I'm going to find the middle of this piece that I cut off. I cut this very generously from the bolt. So I'm going to find the middle of this and do the exact same thing. Just keep checking and pulling, gently tugging it. My backing is nice on it, like that. I keep my clamps on there. I can see the line. I can feel the quarter of the inside of the center of my quilt. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing to my quilt top. Now I know my backing is much, much longer than my quilt top. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, but this time I have to do it with the proper side up. So where I'm holding it is the center of my quilt. I'm going to find my quarter, which is right there, like that. Oh no, I have to do it, no. So I have to fold it inside out, that's right. So instead of folding it right side, I have to fold it inside out. That's what happened there. So I'm folding it the pretty sides together. And again, I'm pleased because I've made my backing so much larger now, obviously, and I don't have to worry about not having enough backing for my quilt. And if you've been there and done that, you know that that's a real pain. Oh, it's on a seam there and it's a half a block there. So again, doing just like I did before, I'm going to find my quarter, which is right there. That's the center. And I'm going to fold it, do it like this. And as you can see, I have a lot of space. And then I'm going to do this. Oh wait, my quilt is longer than it is wider, so I have to measure. No, it has to go the other way. I'll get there in the end. Yeah, because there's hardly any. Yeah, there's only a little bit, so I think I have to turn this around here. And again, I'll find the middle. See that the middle of this quilt here is on my quarter. I have about 3 squares on each side of my gingham that I'm not going to be using. It's matching up. I can see on my nice, obviously rectangular table that my seams are all going properly, are all going the same way, are not crooked or anything. I know, I'll give it a final tug. I know my backing is lovely and taut because of my clamps. Just going to pull that out, shush it out, in case it got a little bit roughed up. But I like this method of using a table, obviously, because the weight of the fabric, your backing, all your fabrics are hanging. So gravity, for me, is pulling the tucks, because that's the biggest thing. Like, oh, I keep getting tucks in my quilt. Well, again, I've rarely gotten a tuck, and if you do, who cares? But like, I like this method on a table because, as you can see, I did iron my I ironed my quilt top pretty nicely. Now this, I can almost feel the seams on the back of this, the back of my backing, my fabric for the backing, because it actually has a ton of seams on it. But I just measured it, and my backing is lovely and square with these gingham patchwork. So hopefully, hopefully at the end of the day, when I go to quilt this, sandwich it all together, there's going to be a nice straight line. That's all. Just, I'm trying to have it centered. That's all. I won't bore you. So all I'm going to be doing now is I pin baste. I use about 2-inch size safety pins. Somebody said, "Oh, when I used to do it on my other dining room table. Are you afraid you're scratching your table?" I can feel I'm just picking up the fabric. No big deal. As you can see, so I'll start from the middle. I'll start from the very middle. There's my middle and my corner, and I'll just going to carefully smooth. I've always said this if you've watched my other videos, smooth, 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 because cotton stretches a lot, and you just keep smoothing. That's why also it's important to have your batting, you're thinking, 2 inches bigger on all sides. Well, while you're smoothing your quilt top, it can stretch an awfully lot. Cotton, that's the beauty of cotton. It stretches with you, it stretches away from you. So in order to get a nice smooth top and sandwich for quilting, when you go to actually quilt it, it's lovely to have it just keep smoothing it outward. And then, then your quilting and your backing will be nice and smooth. So I'm just going to continue. So what I've done is I've pin basted every 5 inches or so apart across the whole top of the center of my quilt. I've taken the clamps off of that side. I'm going to take the clamps off of this side here, and then all I'm going to do is very carefully, I'm going to shift the whole sandwich very slowly, keeping everything evenly on my table, which I know is square. Oh, there's a safety pin. Keeping everything evenly, move my clamps till I get to the other edge. My pins are ending about here, so I'll just pull it. Again, I'm just smoothing. I washed my floor before I was going to do this because I know some of it's falling on the floor here. So, again, everything is nice and square and straight. My backing, now this is the test to see if my backing lines are straight with my quilt. I do believe they are. So what I'm going to do is, before I shift anything else, I'm going to bring this down here like I had it centered. I'm just going to pull out my backing. Everything is nice and smooth, and I'm just going to lift this up, my backing and my top, and I'm going to again clamp the backing down. I'm not clamping the top or the batting, I'm just clamping the backing. And then again, smoothing, tugging, and then I would just continue basting, pin basting all the way down. I'll put my clamps down at the other end of the table. So I'm just standing behind my camera right now, And as you can see, my seams of my seamed patchwork backing are nice and straight. Hopefully I have 1, 2 on the other side, two rows of gingham. But where I've just folded it over with it clamped on the bottom and the top for me to continue my pin basting, I've just wanted to see if this is fairly even. Now I'm not quite sure the top of the quilt, but whatever it is, I know the top and the sides will be the same. So I'll just... So I finished pin basting my quilt, and I've tucked up the excess backing and the batting. I've unclamped it and all the way around, and I just wanted to check to see how centered my quilt top is. And I can see that there's 1, 2, 3 of these squares. Now as you can see, my border ends at about the 3rd one there. So there's 3 there. There's 3 pretty much on each side when I have folded it up. The edge of my quilt top is over there. And then at the top, again, there's almost 3 there. So I've just folded my quilt to take it up to whenever I'm going to quilt it. And I've folded it under just the batting, hopefully. I have like the 2 blocks there and the 2 squares up there. On the top and the bottom is the same, and then the sides are the same. So pretty much, I'm sure some things will get a little bit wonky when I'm quilting it, but pretty much the quilt backing is as centered as I could get it, and as flat as I can get it. This will all quilt out beautifully. That looks like it's going to be a tuck, but I'll just keep smoothing and smoothing and smoothing, and yeah. It's going to be good. All right, I'm very pleased with how that's happened. Someone's come in. Who's come in?
Hello.
Who's that?
Dad.
Hello, Daddy. Look what I've done. Come say hello.
Hello, everybody. Oh, that's stunning.
So that's my quilt back.
What beautiful colours.
So I figured out, you and I. Hello, Maxwell. You don't want to be seen? No. No? Okay. Yeah. So with your help, I figured out the border.
Wow. It's a miracle.
It is a miracle.
It's a modern day miracle. 7th wonder of the miracle Truelove world.
Are you tired?
I've come home to look after my darling.
Oh, that's so nice.
Trying hard.
Yeah. Thank you, Ian.
Hardly trying. Oh no, we've been trying.
Where's Uncle Roger?
He's working hard.
Is he? Oh, what a sweetheart. Yeah. All right. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.